networking, referrals, strategies for success, and real-life stories from professionals who are building a business based on relationship marketing. Welcome to the Caerusnet Podcast. Here, you'll learn how to stay connected in the local business community and become that person others get to know, like, and trust, and refer to. And now, your host, Caerusnet founder, Steven Ziskowski.
Well, I wanna tell you all the places we can go.
Welcome to the Caerusnet Podcast, our holiday edition for 2025. We've got a gift for you today. It's the gift of time mastery. And today I have, on a shortened episode in mind for the holidays, I've got Lacey Reedy with me. She's going to be a 2-year Caerusnet member this January. She is just one of the best people I know and very admired in the community of great people. With that being said, Lacey has a really amazing workshop that's going to help so many people crush 2026 and really go further than they've been able to go for 4. And it's that elusive time management stuff. I'm going to be a part of this workshop because, while I'm can cram a lot in a small amount of time, like most people, there are some projects that I haven't gone through as rapidly as I would like to, and I need to stay on track. So Lacey, could you first, thanks for being on the podcast, and could you share with our audience, what is the workshop? What's it all about? What can they expect?
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on, Steve. It's just an amazing honor to be asked to be on, and just to chat with you. I always look forward to any kind of chat. So yes, this workshop is all about time mastery. We're going to be seeing time from a very different perspective than we've probably ever seen it from before. And so I'm excited to give that gift of perspective, of different perspective to the group and just pour into them, give them simple things that they can do to really prioritize the time and do the things they really want to do, right? There are some things that we've just been, going really slow on. And so it's going to give you that oomph to get to it and finally start doing these things. And I've noticed a lot of times we think we need more motivation or more determination, and that's not necessarily the case. It's really giving ourselves that freedom to say yes to the right things and no to the things that don't serve us anymore. So
that's going to be a valuable lesson for me because I do say no. Trust me, I do say no, but It's not my favorite thing to say. I typically have found that saying yes a lot has also benefited me too, but to have more discernment with that, I think is going to be a valuable tool.
Yes. And that's one of the biggest keys is understanding more about those yeses and nos and why it's harder to say the nos, and to, feel into those things and say yes to the right things. Yeah. So we have more time.
Just doing a quick share, the Eventbrite link for Lacey's workshop is going to be in the drop down here. Should also be in the email that you get that's featuring this podcast. So just to be certain, this is an online event, so everybody knows that you don't need to get in your car and go travel through the snow and the cold and the ice to try to get to this workshop. You can do it with a warm cup of hot cocoa from your own home on a Friday. Talk about a great gift to go into a weekend, starting a new year, to come out of that weekend with confidence and a new way to look at things.
Yeah. And that's why I loved doing it. I didn't want to get everyone all hungover on the 1st of January. So I was like, let's do it on the 2nd. But I'm super excited to even myself, right? Just everyone wants to start fresh in that new year. And so I thought that'd be a good opportunity to really sit down with our schedules and just get a little bit more discernment in there.
Sounds fantastic. So again, I encourage everybody to really take a look at this. It's going to be a great presentation. Like I said, I'll be there, and I know many folks that will. And I'm just looking to crush it in 2026 myself. So, hey, let's jump into a little bit about your CirrusNet journey because, we've got some people that are certainly going to be a part of your workshop, but they don't know who Lacey Reedy is. We know you're a life engineer, which is really kind of cool. I know you've got many different interests, but I'll put you in the help space. You're in that space that you've got a gift that not everybody has, that intuitively you can help people in ways that other folks can't. So this would be a great taste for anybody to get an experience with Lacey Reedy. Maybe you just want to talk about, maybe the other couple things that you help people with, because this time management is a new thing that I've seen. So maybe you also just want to cover maybe the top one or two things that you can help a person with. I know you really helped my wife Ava, with some grief that she was struggling with, and other things.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Some of the things that I help people with are, say you're an entrepreneur and you're just feeling very stuck, and maybe you're noticing some self-sabotage in the business. I help people dive into that and understand what it is that is making us self-sabotage, and then we're able to release those things that are holding us back. I help parents that are really trying to do better for themselves and for their kids, want to break some of those generational things that have just been carrying from one generation to the next, and just get them into that next thing in life, whatever it is that they want. And then I help people that are really struggling in the health space. So maybe they've been in Western medicine and maybe not getting the help that they want and deserve. And so I help them find those answers as well from a functional medicine perspective. And also, as you know, I'm big into the subconscious world. And that's where we do makes a lot of the magic happen. So yeah, those are just some of the little things that we do.
Well, I'll also be sure that I have Lacey's contact information here in the show notes. I'm sure she'd welcome any conversation that comes from
Absolutely.
this podcast. So don't be shy. Lacey is really very gifted, easy to talk to, and a great listener. So, hey, let's jump into some other quick stuff. Your CirrusNet experience. As I mentioned just a little while ago, thank you so much for being with me for 2 years in CirrusNet. You've really just been an absolute joy and a blessing in so many ways. I want to be a fly on the wall really quickly and have you remind me, who was it that told you about CirrusNet and how did it go down real quickly?
Yeah, so actually, I think it was 3 years ago when I first was introduced to CirrusNet, but I guess I wasn't quite ready 3 years ago, but I was 2 years ago. So Joy Detling shared CirrusNet with me, and she was just like, "You really need to meet Steve," and she introduced me to a couple people in CirrusNet and also you. And I remember having a conversation with you, and I was just like, this is something I want to do. Just the timing wasn't right for me at that time. And so I jumped on, it was always on my mind, through that whole year that I guess waited. And when I, jumped in and I reached back out, and you had so much patience with me because I wanted to visit every single group, I think. So thank you for your patience. But yeah, that's kind of how it went down. I think we met for like a trust builder, and yeah, it was just kind of went from there. So it was awesome. And it was amazing, obviously, talking to you. That's when I was like, this is the kind of group that I'm looking for. And in my life, I didn't always have, um, I guess, my created family group, right? It's the friends that you call family. And through CirrusNet, I've really learned who those people are, and I've met them, and like I keep meeting more of them, and I'm just so happy about that.
It's
So,
really cool to be around people that don't have ulterior motives,
right,
other things
right,
swirling around behind them that they really just, it's not everybody. Like the people that we're looking for in CirrusNet, not
mhm,
everybody is somebody that celebrates in everybody else's success. Not everybody is
exactly.
willing to pour into people. And so I think that we've just done an outstanding job as facilitators and members bringing the right people into the picture. Because as you know, if you put the wrong thing in water, the whole thing changes, right?
Right. It's
So
like water and oil, they just don't mix well.
that's right. And each person's really important. So
They
thank you,
are.
Joy Detling. She was great in CirrusNet as well, too. I think I last connected with her before she went to Hawaii and has done some
Yeah.
other things. So she's a person always on the move. Let's
Mhm.
talk about what you like best about CirrusNet, although I think you kind of encapsulated that really quickly.
Yeah,
I don't
I can
want to steal
expand.
your thunder. Is there something that is the actual program itself? What do you like best about CirrusNet?
Yeah. Honestly, that it was easy to plug into. I've tried other networking groups, and one it was easy to plug into. It was just like, okay, this is when we meet. And then also in your meetings, you always are encouraging the trust builders, the one-to-one meetings, and that is, and I'm sure the people have said this a million times on this podcast. That's where the magic happens, especially for me because I'm a very deep person, and so. We get a little taste at the meetings and then I get to I get to show up as me in these meetings. And oh my gosh, like you said, you bring heart-centered people in, heart-centered entrepreneurs that really care about people. And I get to see them, right? And it's again, I've kind of built this family around me that I really love and I cherish everyone.
Yeah,
And
that's
they are
great.
always willing to help, like that's one of the questions that you have in the little form, the trust builder form, just to help people that are newer. And I haven't looked at it in forever, obviously, but I remember that being a question is like, who can I introduce you to help, or what kind of value can I bring to you? And I think that it's light years difference between, a different type of networking because it is a little bit more self-focused and what can I get out of it, where we're always giving and it's what is that saying? The givers receive or something like that. Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, yeah. It's that help enough people get what they want in life magically. You get what you want to. And
Exactly.
I think
Yeah.
that, yeah, that's a big piece of it. So,
Hmm.
how about this? Knowing that you do trust builders, I would assume eventually we just have a new member join our Wednesday 10 o'clock team in Brighton, thanks to Mark Hosh, and that's Ben Gibbs from Gibbs Tree Service. Let's say you and Ben are sitting down for a trust builder over a cup of coffee or tea, and he asks
Hmm.
you, hey, you've done this for a couple of years now, Lacey. It's important to me that I have success. What's the biggest piece of advice you could provide me now knowing what you know?
Right. And I guess I've kind of alluded to that answer as well. And it is in the trust builders, it's making time for those. And that's something that I've really prioritized on my schedule is making time for those trust builders because yeah, we get the taste test at the meetings, but really you get the depth when you get to the one-to-one. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I couldn't have said that better. I'm going to have to listen to this podcast now a couple times because I really like how you phrase that. But
Thank
it's
you.
it's very true. It might be easier for a business that does something that's maybe a little bit more mechanical or self-explanatory, and where the trust level doesn't need to be as high, let's say. For
Right.
somebody like yourself, the person has
I
to
need a
know you
lot.
to go to bat for you and to really understand your business. That's why the trust builders are there, but it's also for us to get to understand each other's journey. For me, I think that's one of the biggest parts is that I want to be enrolled in your journey and I want to support you. One of the ways for me to do that is to also get an understanding of how you got started, why you got started in your business.
Right.
So I think knowing enough about each other's stories, I think, is how we also kind of create our like-hearted and like-minded family that we have in CirrusNet.
Absolutely.
But Lacey's talked about trust builder meetings. If you're a CirrusNet member, you certainly know about these. If you're not a CirrusNet member, but you do network a lot, I would highly recommend you use the CirrusNet Trust Builder Guide. It's found on the Resources tab on the CirrusNet website. Can be right on your phone, and it just helps you kind of organize what a good trust builder might look like in terms of the information you want to share and receive, as well as what I think is one of the most important part of a trust builder, which is these to-dos, to have something to do for each other, when that meeting is over, because then you kind of consummate your relationship with an action item. And
Yeah.
that's just, it's just like this is almost like dating a little bit, right? if you just have dates with people, but you never send them anything afterwards or never keep them in mind, you're not really building a relationship. You're just continuing to date.
Right. Right. It's just going nowhere.
Well, Lacey, Reedy, I'm super excited for your workshop. I wanted to say thanks for putting that out there, and I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing a lot of other folks learning along with me and Lacey that day as the instructor. So very excited. This is all her content, so very very excited to dive in and learn. And I'll look forward to seeing those of you that are going to join us for that at the event.
Yeah,
Thanks.
me too.
Thanks for being on the CRTS podcast, Lacey. Anything else you wanted to say?
Thank you. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's an honor to even to come on, and I'm really looking forward to pouring into our workshop members, just giving as much as humanly possible because I believe in this, and we all just need sometimes a new perspective, and it just something clicks, and I'm really hoping that helps a lot of people in that space. So thank you, Steve, for
Absolutely.
everything.
I'm sure we're going to hear lots of gears turning and lots of clicking happening during your workshop.
I'm excited.
Okay, well, Merry Christmas, Lacey. Merry Christmas to all of you out there, and
Yes, Merry Christmas.
we'll see you at the workshop.